We're recording.
Hello, my name's Jeff Perret. I'm here to address some religious issues. My brother here has some questions for me regarding, you know, the spaghetti monster or whatever you want to call it, God, you know. And I'm ready for you to begin your first question.
Jeff, in the past, you've described yourself as a militant atheist. Can you give me an explanation of why you are a militant atheist?
Well, I do not only believe, but I know that religion is destroying our society and has been destroying our society since the creation of religion. Religion has brought on periods such as the Dark Ages, the Crusades, the Salem witch hunts, Desert Storm, Iraq, the conflict in Iraq right now, all that. Just about every war is fought in the name of religion. Martyrs who commit suicide with the promise that they'll be granted virgins in the afterlife. Is totally and utterly ridiculous that any human being should die in the name of an unproven and unseen deity. And I think that it is totally unreasonable to have religion in our government. How can you base laws on the belief in an invisible creator? You cannot be a president if you do not believe in the invisible man. Those who are most fit for the position of presidency will be declined the seat in presidency because they do not believe in a creator, because they are far too intelligent to believe in a creator. There's a age of reason, that's what I call it, where you have to grow out of things like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, God, stupid shit like that, shit that only children can believe in. How could you completely and totally ignore scientific fact and say, I'm going to go with a blind faith instead of scientific fact? That's totally ignorant.
People argue that atheism is a religion. What's your
Atheism is in no way a religion because, like I just stated, in order for it to be religion, you have to have faith. Faith is described as the evidence of things unseen. There is no evidence of things that are unseen unless you can prove it microscopically, and in that case it will be seen. So faith is total bullshit. It is a word created to brainwash people. It is a lie. And those who follow it are ignorant. If you give a portion of your earnings in offering and tithes to a church in which they take the money and it's not taxed, and they go and spend it however they like on their new Cadillacs and shit, if you're that stupid to give up your money that easily, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm surprised you've made that this long in the real world.
As an atheist, don't you have like an empty, meaningless life because you don't believe in a supernatural deity, or you don't have a belief system or anything? So I mean, when you not believe in God, don't you feel that your life is meaningless?
Not at all. In fact, my life was more meaningless when I believed in an invisible man, at a younger age. We all believed in an invisible man at some point. But when I grew out of that, my mind became so much more expanded because I stopped blaming things on the invisible man. When I do things out of the goodness of my own heart, I know, and I can say that, yes, I'm the one that did it. God did not tell me to help somebody out. I help people every single chance I get. Every time I see someone walking the road, I pick them up, and God didn't tell me to do it. There's no God behind my intentions. And that makes my life more meaningful, knowing that I do things off my own accord. And I know that the bad things that happen to me in life isn't because God is mad at me for something I've been doing that's stupid. People will just go through life thinking everything is going to be fine because they think that God has their back or God's watching out for them. When they're in imminent danger, they will put it in God's hands instead of taking it into their own hands and probably surviving the situation. I believe that's total ignorance. There is no reason to believe in a God or have faith in a God when there's just no proof. How would you put something in someone's hands that has never shown you any form of existence? How could you say just because I prayed for a job and the vast demand for work, the vast demand for work needs to be filled, Just because I got a job does not mean that God gave me a job. It's bullshit. Next question.
Atheists believe there is no God, but you can't prove that there isn't a God. So, being an atheist, we would assume, requires at least as much faith as being a Christian. Don't you agree?
Well, that is definitely a misconception. It doesn't take... you don't have to prove to me something's not real or whatever. Because if you cannot prove it's real in the first place, why would I believe in it? You haven't... Nobody can disprove anything, technically. You cannot disprove the existence of Santa Claus. But I don't believe in Santa Claus. I know that there's not a fucking jolly fat man running around going down chimneys and shit bringing me gifts. That's bullshit. We all know our parents buy gifts at Christmas. You know? So, I don't have to... God does not have to be disproven for me not to believe in him.
Next question.
Next question.
What is your deal with evolution? Why do you support it so strongly? And why do you think it should be taught in school over intelligent design?
Well, first off, evolution is provable. We have proof of evolution, 100% proof, 100%. We can watch cells evolve under a microscope. We have grids, we have a timeline of an evolutionary period for multiple different animals, not just humans. We have watched the evolutionary incline of many different species besides just humans. So evolution is definitely provable. Whereas creationism is 100% unprovable. How could you brainwash children in school into believing in an invisible man? You can't choose a child's path for them. They must choose their own path. So it would be wrong to brainwash them in school to believe in the invisible man.
1 minute left.
All right.
Richard Dawkins.
Next question.
How do I find atheists in my area?
I don't find atheists. I make them. I've found only a few in my area, but I've converted many. As soon as I tell a Christian, I ask Christians simple questions like, what God do you believe in? Jesus Christ? Oh, well, why not Mithra, Krishna, Attis, Dionysus, Apollo, Zeus, Buddha, Muhammad? Why not any of these gods? Well, I have 30 seconds left, so I'm just going to go out thanking Richard Dawkins for the God Delusion. There's a link on YouTube you can go to watch the God Delusion, and things will be put into a much clearer perspective for you. I like to thank Peter Joseph for originally opening my mind up to the delusion of God in his first film, The Zeitgeist. And
10
then
seconds.
once again in Zeitgeist Addendum, which should be found, Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist. Look it up.
2 seconds.
Alright, this is Jeff Perret, I'm out.